Good morning out there in there, and it's not private. We got to be careful about that, huh? Come on, it's everybody's welcome. And if you can encourage or tell anybody else about wasting a few early morning minutes with the inane, then welcome to the Sentimentalist. From in here, out here. Vivi's got her chewy. I've got Vivi's nose, and you can hear the cat, right? Meow, meow. This sounds, the weather has been just unbelievable. That's inane. How about the weather, huh? But holy cow, it's just, Yeah, and we won't make anything about climate change. I got a jazz CD from old classmate Jeff Kellen. Holy cow. It's just so good, just fills the house. Good jazz, man. And these friends of his, he narrates, there's a YouTube thing about the making of this CD, and Jeff narrates it. He has a beautiful voice. And it's fascinating. The guy who's the composer is I think Presbyterian minister, and he's been a jazz man all his life. And then he has these buddies from all ranges of the spirit. And what's the title of the album? The Dancing Calvinist. The Dancing Calvinist. You know where that comes from. I wondered. You know that old joke? Why the Calvinists don't allow anybody to have sex standing up? Because it might lead to dancing. Julie's knitting, and there's a look on her face like something's going haywire. I don't know, because I thought she'd just break into laughter on that bad joke. I've been thinking about hate a lot lately. This is actually good. I'm very sentimental about hate. Here's why. It's been terrible, this discovery of how much hate there is. And you can feel it. I know, can't you? I mean, you can feel it. However, what I've been doing is recognizing that old thing this leads you to recognize that. Now, I don't believe in that. There's no, without suffering, there's no joy or whatever. I don't believe in that. In order to know happiness, you have to know sorrow. No, I don't believe in that. Just be happy. Don't worry. Be happy. And Julie's still not smiling. I don't know what's happening over there, because I just think it's a jump. She's something. She's counting. I don't know. I can't lip read, but she said something. Anyway, about hate, I think that what it has really done is made me just feel the opposite of it more strongly, even though I said I don't believe in that. But when it's an experience like this, just every kindness, every, and it, and I think of all of you and others who came to the Red Dock because it was, they knew they were coming for some joy. And even I always told my students when they'd come in and they'd say, "Oh, I'm so sorry, my poem is depressing." I said, well, then it'll bring out the best in us. It's wonderful of you. People worry about that. But it brings out the best in us. And what's that? Empathy, compassion, sympathy, understanding. kindness. Yeah. And that connects to this. Why do I keep picking this up and putting it down? I need to. By the way, I was instructed to slurp, so being told, sorry, Julie, we're now going to slurp. I was told by a bunch of you, you can't drink coffee without slurping. Slurping's part of drinking coffee. So the equivalent of the bishop of the United Church of Christ, which is basically a non-theological denomination. Therefore, it's for me. It's for Jesus and not for sex upright leads to dancing. Lillian Daniel, she came to. Hi, Jennifer's coming by. One of the two cats. She came to the church and gave this remarkable sermon about the Good Samaritan, and there are, I know, a number of ways of reading that. Look at this. We've got protection going on. She doesn't want your treat, Vivi. She does not want your treat. She just wants to be a pal. Yes, that's your cat sister. Good Samaritan story. So, all the different versions. I'm going to go into that. You know what she did? She looked at it as the person in the ditch. And, of course, the person in the ditch was a Jew, so was Jesus. And the person who helped him was a Samaritan, a person from Samaria. And they were brutal enemies. So that's part of the story. But she looked at that how if you look at that from the person in the ditch? And she talked about this period in her life when she was in the ditch. And what happened was she had a lot of people that she assumed would help her through this time. Didn't. And some people she never, ever expected to help her through this time did. And last night I read Parker Palmer, who's one of my heroes, and he said at our age, my age, his age, there's one word that's important, and that's enough. The word is enough. Enough. And so sort of, maybe this time, the people who say they're my friends will. No. Enough hoping. Now, what am I supposed to do? Stealing the show. Chasing the cat. Chasing the cat. Going to the door. Is there anything Julie could do? I don't think so. Vivian, you're stealing the show. We're going to have to edit. There's nothing there. She's a wonderful protector. There's a dog next door, a Mastiff. It's bigger, huge, a monstrous dog. You know how it barks? Ooh. Ooh. How can we get a bark like that into Vivian? Because Vivian's really nothing but peaceful and patient and sweet and kind. And she has this terrible bark. Why? Why? Finished a book by Frank McCourt. Read Frank McCourt books, wonderful memoirs, and you find 14 years old he came from Ireland, lived just in the worst conditions. When I was a kid on Labor Day, we bounce around, it's all inane, and there's nothing here that you would take a test on or need to know. That's the point. When I was a kid on Labor Day, the Kiwanis Club at the swimming pool had swimming meets, but then the big deal was the penny scramble. Can you imagine today? They threw just hundreds and hundreds of pennies into the swimming pool, and then we all dived for them. Today, can you see the kids going, penny? You kidding me? It was worth more back then. The guy in the local paper here wrote an editorial against student loans. Yes, we certainly wouldn't want to help anybody out. We wouldn't want to actually work it out economically, that if we help them out, they actually help us out because it enables them to produce better in the economy, et cetera, et cetera. But this guy does. He just talks off the top of his head because he's so bigoted. And he actually said that the average salary for college professors is $200,000. Come on, I got a slurp. I got 60 when I retired. Yeah, stepping in almost in welfare, 37 years. If you actually take the whole country and all these big researchers who are worth millions, and put them all together, it comes out to an average of 103,000. Oh, but he said, no, the average for every professor is 200,000. The colleges need to cut their salaries, he says. These are people who are trying to save the lives of kids, really, if you look at what it's about. It's trying to save the future of human beings. And he wants to cut their salaries, even though they only get at the average 103, which means my 60 is what... Anyway. It's been 2 years since we found those cats. Julie found them, not we. Julie found them. They were this big, honest to God. And she fed them off the end of their finger, and here they are with us now. She saved their lives. These 2 kittens, foundlings, behind an air conditioner. She heard this sound. There they were. There they were. I've been thinking, they keep complaining about too many people are leaving the church, and all the churches are struggling and everything. But they're not leaving the church per se. They're redefining the church. Look at what they're doing. It's church, only it's a redefinition. They're working at the community action places. They're working at Goodwill. They're working at the pet survival places. They're volunteering. They're cleaning the beach. It's a different church. And the church has to start thinking about that a little bit. That's what I say. Let's see what else we have here. We'll talk about that next week. 2 found cat. Well, that's about enough, I think. We've probably gone over. Oh my God, Nona's manicotti. 2 doors down, our dear friends, Jennifer, Beth. What a wonderful couple. And Jennifer's Nona made the best manicotti, and Jennifer can make it. And every night, let's have Nona's manicotti and then a penny scramble. How's that? Got to say hi to Mark. Well, this week on, I did that again. I've been looking at a real estate magazine, and I haven't found a house in here that I want to live in. Here's one in New York City for $135 million. That's all that's in this magazine. Here's one in Vancouver, Canada. This one's for 25.8 or 26 million. Yeah. So you want to pick this up, pretty quick. What's this one for? 2.35. Well, it's just a little bungalow. Yeah. And I look around and I just think, how lucky can I be? Could you live in one of those places? I could live with the money, I think, but maybe not. But I'm looking out the window at these beautiful, beautiful trees and the sun coming up right here in this window. What else is there? They go to the window and look out and the sun comes up through the trees. What is that? Do they have somebody knitting beside them? That's the important thing. That's the only thing that matters. Okay, well, this week on Clifford Rame's wonderful program called the Poetry Passages, recommend it. Clifford Rame's YouTube. He spent the whole show, He usually just reads a poem for about 3 minutes. He didn't go on and on like me. And he had Jane Hilberry on, and he had Jane on to talk about her dad, the marvelous poet Con Hilberry, and Jane is the wonderful poet Jane Hilberry. She was so gracious, and she didn't even sort of hint that she'd like to read a poem of her own, which was as much like her dad as you could get. Anyway, recommend it. You know, it's always there. Poetry Passages, and with Jane Hilberry talking about her loving dad. And her dad wrote a book one time, and the title of the book was The Moon Seen as a Slice of Pineapple. So Con was one of the people who really helped me along. And this is the first book. And, you know, I was reading some of these poems this morning, and I really like them. I'm so far away from them that I don't know I wrote them. And I don't think I could write them now. And so anyway, Con wrote that book. So Con and I got along great. And I like to make fun of him because he was not the kind of person you'd make fun of. He was so sweet and gentle. And they had a tribute to him, and everybody got up and did these just loving things, you know, and about him. And then it was my turn. And I said, I don't know what you people are talking about. That son of a bitch. Anyway, so this is mine for Con Hilberry. The moon seen as a slice of pineapple? If the moon is a slice of pineapple, then the fish in my eye is a king, and snow can rise and form a city. And if the moon is really a slice of pineapple, then fog is a cat carrying a cluster of spring beauty, and there is a vase, slender as beach grass, waiting on a hill in Tennessee. I mean to say that if the moon is a slice of pineapple, then my mortgage payments are doves, cooing me to sleep and to daylight, while the dog next door studies its paws. And if that moon is really, I mean really, a slice of pineapple, then we're all right. Then we can go ahead and have the dance. We can lean back. Yes, if what you're saying is that the moon I see most every night, the moon wolves howl against, and for some reason love has been pledged under that devil moon. If that is the moon that you say is a slice of pineapple, then it's been worth it, yep, after all. Take care. Be kind. Thanks for visiting. Bye.